Hello and welcome to a Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity. I only have the main game, not the White Mark Part 1 or 2. Depending on how I feel about the main game, I'll probably get the additional DLCs. But blind Let's Play. I know this is an Obsidian Entertainment role-playing game. That's all I know about this. So I haven't even finished making my first character here. I did look up the character creation a little bit, but that's about it. So it's an exciting feeling to play one of these games. It seems like this is something fairly familiar, at the same time different. It sort of shows its Dungeons and Dragons roots. At the same time, it's not the same. I'm afraid that I'm basically going to screw myself over by assuming too much from my D&D background. The game tries to start you off with the easy difficulty. It is strongly recommended for those who are new or recently returning to real-time party-based RPGs. The game doesn't say if you can change the difficulty settings during the game. I just can't get myself to play on an easy difficulty. It might not be a bad way to start a game, however you usually grow out of it very quickly, so it might be better to just start with normal, stumble upon initially, and then get with the program. Normal difficulty requires strategy and efficiency, but forgives a few mistakes in combat. It is not recommended for newcomers to real-time party-based RPGs. I'm not quite sure what they mean with real-time party-based RPG, because there are numerous types. The big problem is it something that I can basically pause to give orders or not? That changes a lot of things. If I have the pause option, then I'm pretty sure I'll be okay. If not, that's could be a problem. There's expert mode and Trial of Iron. Expert mode disables a number of helper features in the game. Players who want to rely on their own faculties and intuition while playing the game should play expert mode. This option is selected when you start a new game. It cannot be enabled in the game, and if disabled, cannot be re-enabled in that game. I have no clue what this is. Yeah, it disables a number of helper features, but it doesn't mention what those are. I'm not going to really choose these because I don't know what I'm choosing. Trial of Iron is, I think, if you lose, you lose. Only one save file is kept for the entire playthrough. If the player is killed, the file is deleted and you must start again. This option can't be changed in the game. I'm not sure if you could get around that limitation. I mean, it is just a file on the computer, so you could probably copy it, and then if you fuck up, just re-establish that copy and start from that point on. But at the same time, what would be the point? It's for your own challenge. Definitely not going to try with the Trial of Iron. Hard difficulty is suited for Infinity Engine veterans who are looking for a challenge. Surviving requires micromanagement and optimization of stats through items, spells, and abilities. I feel something like this is better once you understand the system. I suppose I am an Infinity Engine veteran, however, this doesn't feel that close to Infinity Engine. I don't know how the game plays, I've never entered the game once, but based on character creation, I'll play with normal with no specialties. Obsidian Entertainment presents Pillars of Eternity.
5 wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
This reminds me of basically the initial introductory or narration scrolls from Baldur's Gate, I think Icewind Dale too. I'm hoping the game is in similar vein at least. I don't think I've played a new game in that type in a long time. I would love to play one, a little bit of a modern take on one. Yeah, character creation. Not sure if there's any difference in choosing a male or female. I'll go with male. The place of men in society varies from culture to culture. Cultures like Adir and the Durwood place them at the forefront of military politics and heavy labor. Among the tribes of Nasitak, men perform many of the homesteading and organizational duties. In Ergalan-Fath and Ixamital, men and women have more fluid societal roles. In all societies there are exceptions to the rule, and men can be found in a wide variety of stations and professions. I'm guessing it says while there are certain cultural differences, anything goes. I have zero idea about the world I'm about to enter. Right, male. Human, Aumuau, dwarf, elf, Orlan, godlike. Godlike to me seems like what the hell were they called in D&D? For the life of me I can't recall. Basically half human, half elemental creatures. At least from the looks of it. I don't think it's quite the same. Humans will have subraces. Meadow folk, ocean folk, savannah folk. Aumuau is something new, not from D&D background. And there's something called Kith races. I think Orlan are another Kith race. They sort of have these weird features. Coastal Aumuau, Island Aumuau. The mighty Aumuau are the largest of the Kith races and are commonly found in or near oceans. Though not truly aquatic, they have an affinity for water, and many of their civilizations, such as Rauatai, are based on naval dominance. They are known for their unparalleled strength. The dwarves. By virtue of land covered and number of colony settled, dwarves are the most well-traveled race in the world. They are commonly found in the Durwood and Valian republics. In almost any colonized land, dwarves are known for their great strength and tenacity. Any subraces? Mountain dwarf, boreal dwarf, elves. Elves are the dominant race in Ergalan-Fath, and the white that wins, and are extremely common in the Durwood and Ader. Elves are known for their speed and intelligence, as well as a commonly isolationist nature. We have Wood Elves and Pale Elves. Orlans. Orlans are the smallest of the Kith races, though many cultures don't consider them to be civilized at all. Also notable for their large ears, two-toned skin, and hirsute bodies. Orlans are commonly found in Air Glenfath, the Ixamiddle Plains, and parts of Durwood. They are known for their mental intensity and sharp senses. Air Glenfath, a territory comprised of the forest southeast. Yeah, these are just. I can't place these in any way unless I would have a visual map of some sort. Otherwise, these are just exotic, hard to pronounce names that have no meaning. Godlike. The godlike are children of the Kith, civilized races, who have been blessed with physical aspects associated with the gods, though some do not consider it a blessing. These aspects may take many forms and often come with mystical powers. Aberrant head shapes are typical, and godlike are unable to wear protective headgear as it is near impossible to find anything that fits. Because of their unusual nature and their inability to reproduce, godlike are often viewed with fear and wonder. And they are death godlike, fire godlike, moon godlike, nature godlike. Right. Dexterity and intellect. Resolve. Perception bonuses. Negatives on might. So I suppose like gnomes and halflings, sort of, as far as abilities and attributes are concerned. Godlike is something totally different. There's no... I don't think there's nothing that I can really compare them to. There might be some similarities, but not exactly the same. Genasi. Yeah, Genasi was the race I was thinking about. Dexterity and Perception. All Pale Elves have increased burn and freeze damage reductions. 8 damage types in Pillars of Eternity. Slash, Pierce, Crush, Burn, Shock, Corrode, Freeze, and Raw. Against any enemy that is more than 4 meters away, Wood Elves gain bonuses to accuracy, deflection, and reflex. Right. Warus, Mighty, also increased constitution, negative on dexterity. Again, very similar to D&D Dwarves. Have bonus to defend against poison and disease attacks. Boreal Dwarves gain plus 15 accuracy against any creature of the Wilder or Primordial types. Yeah, these don't tell me anything. Aumuai, some kind of warrior. Coastal Aumuai gain bonuses to defend against prone and stun effects. All Island Aumuai gain an additional weapon set. So I'm seeing warrior, warrior, warrior. Humans. Might and Resolve. Fighting Spirit. Once per encounter, 5 seconds after being reduced below 50% endurance, folk temporarily gain bonus to accuracy and damage. Temporary gain bonuses to accuracy and damage. Right, everyone has Fighting Spirit. I'll go with a boring human option. Not sure how it affects things. Meadow, savanna, or ocean. Go with an ocean folk. And the classes. Quite a lot of classes. Some familiar sounding, some not. Barbarians. I'm not sure what's the difference between endurance and health. Endurance represents a character's short-term survivability. Damage that is not absorbed by a character's damage reduction goes straight to their endurance and health. Potions and healing magic, such as from a paladin, priest, or a druid, can restore endurance in combat. When a character's endurance reaches zero, he or she will be knocked out. A knocked out character can be brought back in combat through the use of revive ability. Otherwise, characters will regain all of their endurance at the end of combat, assuming they're on the winning side. So how is that different from health? Health is the long-term damage, only regained through rest and certain talents. Damage that is not absorbed by a character's damage reduction goes straight to their health and endurance. When a character's health reaches zero, they will either be maimed or killed, depending on game settings. A maimed character who is reduced to zero health will always be killed, regardless of settings. Unlike endurance, a character's health does not get restored after combat, but characters have much larger health values than endurance values. Okay. 6 times endurance is health. Accuracy is part of almost every attack, influences how likely the attack is to affect the target. Accuracy is defined primarily by a character's class and level, but it is also influenced by perception, talents, and other active effects such as spells or items. When an attack is made, the accuracy is compared to the appropriate defense on a target to determine how the attack roll will be modified. If accuracy is above the target defense, it will be more likely to result in a hit or critical, less likely to result in grace or miss. Any ability or talent that does not use a weapon as part of the attack gains a small accuracy bonus based on the level of the character. Flexion. Defense used to resist direct melee and range attacks against characters that are not area of effects. It is defined by the character's class, level, and resolve, but may also be influenced by shield, certain weapons, talents, other effects. So more or less armor class, chance to hit. Health and endurance is a new system. That's something I'll just have to get used to. This seems to be athletics, survival, high endurance, high health, average accuracy, low defense. Chanter. All chanters can continuously speak chants made up of magical phrases. Phrases produce passive effects and help build a chanter's power until they can use an invocation. Automatic bonus, right. Lore mechanics. Very low endurance, low health, average accuracy, high deflection. Cypher. I'm guessing this is some kind of a rogue type. Cyphers can directly target allies and enemies with powerful soul-focused effects. His powers cast focus, which Cyphers build through the use of their soul whip. Okay. Low endurance, low health, average accuracy, average deflection. Shape-shifting. No, spirit shifting. All druids have mastered one animalistic form. These forms give the druid strong melee abilities and grant an additional power while the druid is shifted. Can use spells. Variety of offensive and some support-oriented spells. Every 2 levels, druids automatically gain access to an additional set of spells. Initially, their spells can be cast a limited number of times per rest. As druids gain power, their weaker spells eventually shift to per encounter use. Low endurance, low health, low accuracy, average deflection. Fighters continuously regenerate endurance at a modest rate during combat. Average endurance, high health, very high accuracy, very high deflection. The Barbarian is more of a tank and damage dealer with low defenses. Fighter is more of a less endurance but better accuracy and defense. How about a monk? When monks have no weapons equipped, their unarmed attacks are exceptionally powerful and continue to increase in damage as you gain levels. As monks are damaged, their pain generates wounds. Wounds can be used to power many of the monk's special abilities. Average endurance, very high health, very high accuracy, high deflection. So more of a skilled fighter. Guessing this is some type of fighter healer, paladin. Paladins have an inherent bonus to all of their defenses. Over the course of the game, the value of this bonus may shift based on the reputations the paladin gains relative to the behavior that are preferred by his or her order. Average endurance, high health, average accuracy, average deflection. So if you don't play the paladin as your order dictates, you're gonna suffer as far as your meaningful combat abilities are concerned. Priests. Holy Radiance generates a modest amount of endurance for allies around the priest. Any enemy vessels caught in the area take burn damage and may be frightened. Over the course of the game, the power of this ability may shift based on the reputation the priest gains relative to the behavior that are preferred by his or her deity. Priest has access to a variety of support and some offense-oriented spells. Low health, very low endurance, very low accuracy, low deflection. So definitely not a combat specialist. So not the overpowered priest of D&D, where it has pretty much average to good abilities on all fronts. Ranger. Animal companion. Very low endurance, high health, very high accuracy, average deflection. I suppose more of a range combat user. Rogue. Sneak attacks. Damage bonus to Rogue's range and melee weapon attacks when target has any of the following afflictions: blinded, flanked, hobbled, paralyzed, petrified, prone, stuck, stunned, weakened. Also applies to any target the Rogue strikes with a weapon within the first 2 seconds of combat. Very low endurance, low health, very high accuracy, very low deflection, so this could be the damage per second guy. He can't tank for shit, he can't really deflect attacks, but he will hit with his strikes and he can probably deal a huge amount of damage. So more of a support fighter in a sense, meaning if someone else does the actual tanking, distracting, then Rogue can be extremely useful. At the same time, if that isn't happening, Rogue can be taken out of the fight fairly easily. Wizards. Arcane Assault. Mid-range attack that hits a small area for raw damage and can leave target dazed. Wizards have access to a variety of offensive and personal defense spells. Unlike priests and druids, wizards learn individual spells that they store in and cast directly from their grimoires. Grimoires can only hold 4 spells of each spell level, which motivates wizards to keep multiple grimoires for different needs. Every 2 levels, wizards gain access to an additional set of spells. However, they can automatically learn 1 spell of any level they can access each time they advance. Wizards also have the option of learning spells from grimoires they find or buy. Initially, their spells can be cast a limited number of times per rest. As wizards gain power, their weaker spells eventually shift per encounter use. Very low endurance, low health, Very low accuracy, very low deflection, so Wizard is just going to be horribly murdered in any kind of a physical encounter. I'm probably going to play with a Wizard. The Masters of Academic Magic. Wizards are students of arcane traditions that stretch back beyond the boundaries of recorded history. Wizards are a highly organized group, often forming academies and guilds devoted to research and development of magical studies, and tend to favor environments where inquiry, experimentation, debate, and the dissemination of knowledge are encouraged. Many accomplished wizards eventually become known for their eccentricity, their egos, and their unquenchable interest in all things arcane and occult. Sounds good to me. Right. Spells. We can choose 4 spells, and there's quite a lot of spells. Archemist's Dazzling Lights. We are going from level 1 to level 8. Overwhelms anyone in the area of effect with brilliant and bewildering pyrotechnical display, decreasing their will and leaving them dazed. Minus 10 will for 12 seconds, dazed for 12 seconds, accuracy plus 10 versus reflex. I'm guessing so the effect will hit. They have a reflex saving throw. Reflex defense, it's not saving throw in this game. Dodge out of a physical harmful area of effect attack, right? So, daze, I don't know what it does. Accuracy is reduced by 10. Dexterity, perception, and intelligence are all reduced by 2, and attack speed is reduced by 15%. So it's a minor debuff. Chill Fog. Freeze damage 12 to 19 points. Blinded for 3 seconds. Fortitude to defense. Bow area of effect. Area of effect. So I guess Chill Fog affects everyone, while Dazzling Lights only affect enemies. I'm assuming that. I don't know, but why have foe area of effect and area of effect if they don't mean different things? Okay, Parasitic Staff. Quarterstaff of pure energy for wizard to wield. Bonus chance to hit and giving wizards endurance with each successful strike. Okay. Eldritch Aim. Plus 15 accuracy for 10 seconds. Creates a cone of fire in front of the caster, causing burn damage to anyone in the area of effect. 31 to 43 burn damage. Against reflex. Fleet Feet. Movement speed and defense when disengaging for 30 seconds. Ghost Blade. Area of effect. Okay. Full area of effect. 21 to 31 pierce damage. Hobbled. Dexterity reduced by 2, movement by 1.5, reflex by 20. Again after reflex defense. I probably would like a mixture of things. Jolting Touch. Target. Oh, jump target. Hey, what? Bolt of electricity jumps from the caster's fingers to the nearest enemy and then to the next nearest, causing decreasing amounts of shock damage. Plus 2 foe jump targets. Okay. It's deflection. Kalakoth's Sunless Grasp. Freezing damage. Deflection defense. What is Interrupt? Interrupt determines how likely a damaging attack is to delay their opponent's current or next action. Right, so it'll delay them by 0.5 seconds. Minor missiles. Summons 3 spell missiles that batter the target, inflicting crush or corrode damage. Again, deflection. So it's basically direct attack. Sicken. Coats the ground with slick oil-like substance, inflicting knockdown on anyone in the area. Prone for 4 seconds. Reflex save. Spirit Shield. Surrounds the caster with a shield of spirit energy, granting an increased damage reduction and a concentration bonus. Plus 3 damage reduction plus 30 concentration for 45 seconds. So a self buff. Thrust of Tattered Veils. Quick strike of crushing force, dealing little damage but having a high chance to disrupt enemy spellcasters. Yeah, interrupt 1 second. Stronger. Against deflection. I guess the against deflections are bad against warriors in general. Reflex, probably decent against warriors. Wizard's Double. Creates a duplicate of the caster to distract enemies, granting the caster a high deflection bonus until he or she is hit or crit. Plus 40 deflection until hit or critically hit. Okay, we need 4. I'm thinking of taking the Spirit Shield, but I don't know. I'll take Minoletha's Minor Missiles. It's your very basic attack against easy to hit targets. It doesn't have much of an interrupting ability. I'll also take the Thrust of the Tattered Veils because it has a large interrupting ability. Range 10 meters. What's the range on this? 15. Range 2. No. It's a touch attack. Ghost Blades. Area of effect. A cone. Right, so I'd like 2 attack abilities of different type. One self-protection or buff ability, and maybe some kind of other disabling ability if we can help it. Dazzling Lights might not be bad, it has a 10-meter range. And Foe area of effect. Maybe Flames, just to get some kind of a elemental attack. Has a cone and a decent interruption against reflex. Tattered Veils has against deflection. Strong interrupt. How about Wizard's Double or a Spirit Shield? More importantly, what the hell are we gonna take for the third spell? Ability to cast creatures inflict knockdown on an area of effect. That sounds like a good control spell. So I'll take this Lichen, Fan of Flames. It also is an oil-like substance, so there's at least a possibility that we could just light it on fire. I have no idea if that's possible, but it might not be, but at the same time I wouldn't put it past against them, because that sort of thing, it makes things a little bit more interesting. and certain D&D I think also allows for that. It's more of a question is it game mechanically programmed into the game to does it take such things into consideration? I don't know. I can hope. At least there's a minor chance there might be some synergy with these. I'm thinking of taking the wizard's double, just to have something that gives us proper bonuses. We have shitty deflection. I'm guessing that's like your physical armor. So this would be a temporary protection value. Spirit Shield would give damage reduction and concentration, but I don't even know what concentration really does. In protection against interruption. No, this will not. I'll take the Spirit Shield because it gives us protection against interruptions, and it will not be dispelled by a single hit, so it will last 45 seconds. Right. Attributes. Okay. Might is important. Highly recommended for wizard. Why? Characters' physical and spiritual strength, brute force, as well as their ability to channel powerful magic. Okay. During interactions, it can be useful for intimidating displays and acts of brute force. In combat, it contributes to both damage and healing, as well as the fortitude defense. So I don't. Spiritual strength, I guess. Intellect, highly recommended for wizards. Recommended for wizards. Dexterity. I looked at this. It's the values. 1 point is used for 1 point increase, so there's no increasing cost by putting more into these. There's also, it seems like every point you put or reduce has some kind of effect, so there's no empty attribute values. You don't need to increase things by 2 or 3 to see some kind of a change. Every point counts. Damage and healing. Endurance and health. Action, speed and reflex. Interrupt, accuracy, reflex. Area of effect bonuses. Duration and will bonuses. Character logic and reasoning capabilities. In interactions, it can be useful for deduction, sudden realizations, and problem solving. In combat, it contributes to the will defense and influences durations and area of effects of all abilities and talents. So yeah, that sounds useful. Might, damage and healing. Since the game highly recommends it, I'm putting points in it, but at the same time I don't really see how it's useful. Ability to channel powerful magic. I have no idea what that means. That sort of frightens me. Is it going to determine my ability to cast certain spell levels in the first place? No. Dexterity. Character's hand-eye coordination, balance, and overall grace. Sleight of hand, fast reactions, action speed with all attacks, spells, and abilities. Contributes to the reflex defense. So we can put a couple of points in there. Health and endurance seems like a useful place to put points in. Resolve. Internal drive, determination, fearlessness. Emotional intensity they can protect to others. Concentration, deflection, and will. Yep, I have no clue what I'm doing. Take extra point in intelligence and might. It's really hard for me to make good choices here. I'll have to stick with what the game recommends. Seems like Resolve would be a good call. Right. It is what it is. We're not going to make a perfect character on the first time we make a character. Right. Culture. Resolve +1. Dexterity +1. Resolve +1. Intellect +1. Constitution +1. Might +1. Perception +1. Constitution, intellect, resolve will be nice. What do they mean? Art is the most powerful force in this part of the world. Deathfire. Dozens of Aomui settlements, hundreds of lawless pirate-infested islands that stretch along the southern sea. Ixamital Plains. Large expanse of fertile savannas that are extensively farmed by human and Orland residents. One of the oldest culture in the world, though one of the least imperialistic, having spread out little over the past several thousand years. Old Vailea. Once the crown jewel of the southern seas, Old Vailea is now the crumbled remnants of an empire of warring merchant nations. Counting many humans and dwarves among their ranks, the Old Vailean countries are still forces to be reckoned with and are proud of their rich cultural heritage. Ruautai. Dominated by the Aomui nation of Ruautai, the Gulf itself is host to a number of nations, most of them Aomui, Orlan, or Torban. Though these countries are relatively young, they are some of the most advanced colonial settlements in the east. The Gulf is an island of riches and resources for those who can take them, though the entire coast is often pummeled by violent storms. I'll take Old Vailea. Empire of warring merchant nations. Background: aristocrat. Lore: survival, stealth and mechanics, athletics, mechanics, lore and mechanics, lore, stealth and lore, stealth and survival, athletics and lore, athletics and survival. Okay, athletics is what? Adventuring is tiring work. In addition to the hazards of mortal combat, adventurers have walls to climb, rivers to cross, pits to leap over. Once per encounter, characters with athletics can use the second wind ability to recover lost endurance. Higher athletics score increases the effects of second wind. In conversation and scripted interactions, athletics is used for physical feats like climbing, swimming, and jumping. Survival allows characters to choose from a variety of long-term bonuses each time they camp. First 6 ranks grant the following bonuses: damage reduction, healing multiplier, bonus movement, accuracy bonus versus creature type, increased consumable duration, bonus damage versus flanked enemies. After the 6th rank, the previously earned bonuses become more powerful in the same order they were received. Survival can also be used in conversation and scripted interactions that involve wilderness challenges or specialized information about nature. I think lore and that sort of thing would be more for us. Athletics and lore? No, we're not gonna be stealthy. Character of any class to attempt to avoid being seen or heard. What is lore in this game? Characters accumulated miscellaneous knowledge and trivia, often of occult or esoteric topics. Outside of conversations and scripted interactions, lore is used to activate scrolls. Higher lore values allow the character to use higher level scrolls. Okay, artist and aristocrat do the same thing, so there must be some kind of other difference. So the background might not just be the skill bonus, it might actually have consequence beyond that. Something to keep in mind. What is mechanics? Traps and locks can be a problem. Okay, I'm not interested in that. Maybe an artist. Mercenary would have a lore in athletics. Late in battle is your way of life. You solve your problems by pulling out your weapons and applying force. I'm an artist. You've always felt driven to express yourself creatively. The structure and rigid control of other pursuits has never satisfied in the same way. Right. Magic is my art. Gotta get a portrait with at least black skin color. Well, that's actually fairly close how we look now. And it's just fitting for artistic wizard, I guess. Right. Right, I don't think I need to change anything on the skin and hair side. Facial hair. Well, our character doesn't really have facial hair, does he? At least the portrait doesn't have. I'm not too married to the portrait. It doesn't have to correspond exactly, but if there's some kind of resemblance, that would be great. Move this around. Thank you very much. Right. Excellent. Voice.
Mm-hmm. Watch and learn. Yeah! Easy does it. Hey there. Watch and learn.
Well, now I am the leader of the group. A blade in the dark. Well?
Onward! The better part of valor.
Yes?
I shall lead us. Yeah. Sharp eyes and keen ears. I shall lead us.
Okay, a male mystic sounds about right. There aren't that many options, but enough to get a few basic character types, I guess. And we could choose female versions too.
Finish them!
Silence surrounds me. Yes?
I shall lead us.
Oh fuck the name. Oh crap. Yes. Well, I have no idea what the names are in this game. Appropriate names. So I guess I'm going to have to go with something that some kind of generic fantasy name. Oh crap. Artistic name. Wizard formerly known as Prince. My name is Huron. Huron, level 1 wizard. Excellent. Wizard is a sort of a risky choice because you never know. In order for wizard to really pay off, you need to get access to some heavy hitting spells at some point. But I have no idea what type of spells we're gonna get. Some kind of a little bit more sturdier character might be more appropriate. Especially because I don't know. I know this is a party-oriented game. That's blatantly obvious, but what are the party members we're gonna get? Do we have any choice really, or are we gonna get some kind of generic set of characters? It's just I'm not sure how well a wizard is gonna fit into that, but I'm sure we'll deal with it. Caravan Master Odema. Caravan Master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jaws quivering as if for emphasis. Everybody stays close to the... Bushy red mustache, sagging jaws. Everybody stay close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning to stroll through those ruins up there. He nods toward a looming black mass on the hillside. Whole area crawling with hot-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks.
Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
Right, Odema looks over his shoulder at his assistant, a lanky, intense man named Sparfel, who carries an old sun-bleached bow. Sparfel nods and slides the worn bow over his shoulders. Okay, definitely reminds me of Infinity Engine games. They have everything's familiar, how the game looks, how the dialogue is handled, how you can choose your own options through number keys. Where would I find these berries?
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
Okay, immediately graze out the options you've already chosen. That's nice. What are those ruins?
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build 'em, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch 'em like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
Your character's attributes, skills, class, race, culture, and sex may all open up options for you in dialogue. These options are not necessarily superior to the other responses, but give you a wider variety of choices to select from. The manner in which someone responds to your choices depends on their individual personality and attitude. Who did build the ruins?
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Okay. What are these huge rocks coming up out of the ground?
They don't got Adra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
Is it dangerous out here?
Not if you hurry about your business, and not if the weather holds up.
There is concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate. So what kind of weather do they get out here?
This time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a Beowick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never cared to.
Alright, I'll go see about those berries then.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
He scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's nights sleeping on uneven ground without blanket or pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up on her own time.
He needs to find some springberries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her, you're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything.
Right.
Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a Beowick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
Welcome to Pillars of Eternity. If this is your first visit to the world of Eora, you may want to watch these windows to become familiar with the tools and interfaces available to you. I'll accept that. Moment's respite. What is this? Party AI is active. We have Kaliska, Endurance 51, Health 253. I have Endurance 36, Health 144. I have no clue what I'm doing. Excellent.